Whoo-wee. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, live. So most of you know I went away for 3 weeks with Ollie and Phoebe, and went to Perth, visit my daughter and grandson, and then off to Brisbane, spent some time with Juliana. Actually, we're going back in a couple of weeks. Joe Skinter's here, good to see you, buddy. Woo! Anthony Parks. Oh, these are all fogged up, I'm all sweaty. Damn. Doug's here. And I'm actually going to go back in a couple of weeks because Ollie, it was really interesting. Ollie's native tongue is obviously Mandarin and Shanghainese. There's 2 different languages. And thank you, sir. Yeah, well, my team's been busy while I'm away, I tell you. Man, we are on top, on point, on everything. Jim Gamble's here. Good to see you, man. Peter Thomas from Perth, my good friend. Jason Hatch is here. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Jason. I thought I'd leave you alone today, right? But I'll maybe tonight when you wake up. Yo, Jeff Vadas, Jared Popjoy's here. Andrew's here. How are you guys? I've been watching a bit of Gary V, right? If you don't watch Gary V, hashtag Gary V, GaryVee, go and get that stuff into you. There's some amazing stuff in there. That guy is so on point. Jerome is here from Florida, Miami. So you like really like the latest one I watched was so interesting and so relevant to our chapter of life. You know, he was talking to some people that have got a business and they're competing in a really competitive market, and he said, listen, there's only 2 ways to win. There's black and there's white. Black is you'll say anything, do anything, sell anything, do whatever you can do, and you'll win short term, 100%. Yeah, great, good on you, Jason. Yeah, I've got Trad Pole with me. Trad 4 and Trad 8 are in the house. All right, and Trad 8 is, I've got a pretty cluttered table here. So Trad 8 is in the house. So we're good to go on Trad. I'm going to show you what the pack's going to look like. I want it to be a kit. I don't want it just to be a pole. So oh, and it's kind of cute, right? Look at this. It's even got its own little balance, yeah? So you can lean it up against the wall and it's not going to fall over. Sweet. Jamie is here. Good to see you. Yeah, and so you're saying, look, you know, you can if you have it in you to be black, then you're going to win short term. But if you don't have it in you to be black, you've got to go as pure white as you can. Like everybody's got their dark side, right? Trade 12 is scheduled for, I think, Wednesday this week, something like that. It's coming in. Bob Hughes is here from Sydney. Good to see you, man. We should have caught up actually, but anyway. It was just Ollie time. And here's the thing. So anyway, so that was the interesting thing, is that, you know, is just to listen to Gary V talk about brands and black and white and how you're going to behave and how you're going to act. And it was really inspiring. And he's talked about, you know, the problems with being a personal brand, having a company brand and a personal brand, and how 20 to 30% of people are not going to like you. So you got to just suck that up and go, okay, some people don't like me. They don't like my personality. Doesn't change my product per se. You can still like my product without liking me, but that's, some people find that difficult. But anyway, it's fascinating to listen to Gary V. The second thing I want to share with you from my holiday, just 2 little takes, right, was that Ollie is, Angelo Ponce is here from, where are you from, New York or Connecticut? Somewhere up that way. Lee Radcliffe's here. Yeah, so Ollie's native tongue is not English, so he understands English quite well, but he doesn't really speak it. Wasn't speaking it a whole lot. And at the end of the holiday, we had a problem with checking in. There's these automatic machines that, yeah, my daughter looked after me, gave me a skin peel, and my hands are looking better, and my face is looking better, and I'm relaxed, and I'm out of the rat race, and I've recovered from taking a beating, so I'm good to go, good for the next chapter. But anyway, so at the end of the holiday, Ollie is, we're at the airport checking in to fly back to Shanghai, and the machine says, you know, you've got to get a customer attendant. And that's normal because I'm a foreigner, so they have to check that I've got a visa to enter China. And Ollie said, oh, I'll do it. And he ran over and asked the attendant, you know, for help in English, which doesn't sound like much, but it's a big step for us. And then, and so the second thing happened at the airport at the same time is he actually asked his mum a question in English, which was amazing because he normally talks all the time in Chinese to her, and sometimes he'll say, hey, I can't find the word, you know, tell dad this. And the last few days, you know, because he lives in Shanghai, I've got the factory in Ningbo, so, you know, I go up and see them. But the last couple of days he's ringing me up and telling me stories and all that. So I'm going to take him back. He's got a 2-month summer break, and I'm going to take him back in about a week and a bit for another week in Brisbane with my very good friend Juliana and Aaron and their 2 boys, you know, the horse riding and all that one, if any of you followed. So that was I just want to lock down that whole thing so that he really feels confident that he can speak English, and hopefully we'll be able to let him go to school with one of the boys and, you know, mix in with classmates and all that sort of thing. So we're really sort of driving to lock down his English speaking. I know that's not very REACH-iT, but it's kind of, you know, I mean, family is everything, right? That's the driver. The third thing I want to just share really quickly is the metaphors of nature. If any of you didn't see it, there's a really boring 3-minute video of a seagull flying behind the ferry, and it looks like kind of kiddie because Ollie's sitting there flapping his wings, but we watched this seagull for 20 minutes before I made that video, and it's fascinating. It's such a metaphor for business. This seagull is flying and flapping and flapping and flapping and flapping and flying alongside to keep up with the boat, and you say, what is he doing that for? And then you see him kind of hold his wings and then flap, 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 and hold his wings and flap, 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 and then he hit this sweet spot, and this seagull flew for, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes in this at the same speed as the ferry, never flapped his wings, maybe, you know, one to stay on the track, and we're going, wow, that's that sweet spot, you know, where everything's going fine, you know. And sometimes in a business, you know, you hit a sweet spot, everything's barreling along. We had that in 2017, and then and the hilarious thing, I wanted to film it, and I just had to keep filming until it happened. But he hit this turbulence, right? Wherever it came from or whatever. And the seagull's like spinning and turning and spinning and like 60 feet back. And you see Ollie run back and start again, right? And that's kind of like the end of the video. But this turbulence, you go, where did that come from? You're just sitting in the sweet spot and your wings are out and you're just going, this is so cool, we're making money, we're banking, everybody's happy, your customers are happy, competitors are quiet, and bang, like this, and I go, oh my God, do I know what that feels like? So but then you have to flap, and I think the thing is that the thing that I took from it was one, that there is a sweet spot. 2, you got to be ready for the turbulence whenever it comes. It can come from wherever, right? And that seagull is ready for it, and he was ready to go again, right? So he's going to flap his wings and he's going to go back and he's going to work for another 5 minutes, I don't know, to get back to that point where he can just sit in that and fly along, I don't know, maybe 10 miles an hour, 14 miles an hour without flapping his wings, and just enjoy that, you know. And so that's quite a long ferry ride, I don't know, maybe 30-40 minutes. So it was really, really, really interesting metaphor. So if you get a chance, scroll down my wall and look for this dark black video image with just this white blur or whatever, but you can see quite clearly. And it's a really, really interesting how hard you have to work to get to the sweet spot. And then once you're in the sweet spot, how ready you've got to be for the turbulence that's just going to just throw you all over the place. And then you got to pick up your little wings and go and start flapping again and go back looking for that sweet spot again. So you know, I hope you take that chance at the end of this and just scroll down and see it if you haven't seen it. So yeah, so while I was away, the team has been busy working on all the new products, and we're going to roll a whole lot of them out this week. Some of them will come out, some of the things I'm not quite finished, but we're aiming for all of them to drop down this week with pre-orders, so we'll just give you a delivery date on when they're available. Trad 4 and Trad 8 are available now, but I want to show you, I think I'll start with the Trad poles as to how I see the pack. So firstly, I want to just go over the design and give you some sort of an understanding as what I'm trying to achieve, and then we're going to be looking for your feedback as time goes on, you know. You're maxing it today, good. Get in there. So as time goes on, I think that there'll be a lot of, as you start to get confident about what we can do with listening to you, and I still want to do that. You know, I've learned a lot about how to listen to people and what not to do, you know, out of the last year, because we've really tried hard to work alongside people, but it's not always that easy if you have this dimensional difference in the structures of your businesses to understand what it might be like to have a company and 30 people and all that sort of thing. So so here's where we're at. Trad pole the thing which I never wanted to release was just 3 tubes and 3 clamps and say there goes a trad pole. I think that's BS. It's not a trad, it's just a pole, right? So I was looking for something that we could release that made it unique, and what this pole has got the Kevlar handle. So to prove it to you what Kevlar looks like, we've actually left the packaging on the outside, so you can actually see the Kevlar is in there, right? That's what Kevlar looks like. It doesn't look like anything else. Kevlar always looks gold and kind of like fiberglass, right? It's not as rigid as carbon fiber, but the thing is that it doesn't conduct electricity and it doesn't conduct heat. So on a really hot day, it'll get hot, but it doesn't get scorching hot like carbon fiber. Carbon fiber will get hotter than ambient temperature, but I've tested this out in the beautiful sun because it's summer here as well. And for sure, you can just pick this pole up. It'll feel hot, but it doesn't feel scorching. You pick up a carbon fiber pole or an aluminum pole or aluminium pole, wherever you come from, then you know it can be scorching on your hands. So the insulating aspect of Trad 4 inside Trad 4 is 3K carbon fiber, 100% carbon fiber. So you're going to get a really nice, lightweight, rigid pole, sweet as apple pie. Where we've got to on this, I think some of you have seen the developments of this, but now we have a pin in here, and then we're going to release this kit here as a kit. We'll lock this down. It's still got a little bit of movement in it, but we're going to lock this down, you know, with some glue or more screws or whatever. And there'll be one of these for whatever brand you want, whether it's Mormon or Wagtail or Edaray or Unger or whatever. So, you know, basically we'll have this hole matched, so you can, you know, push that in there and then it's locked. And that's really for the guys who are doing high extreme pole work, so that, you know, because if it falls off a pole and falls onto a customer, then that's a problem. So thanks to Jimmy Jones for pointing that out to me as to why that pin was important. But the material that we're using, we're super happy with. It just grips. So, you know, we might put some out which just don't even have pins, and you just want to jam something on and you're just working, you know, just groundwork. Then you don't want to piss around with putting that pin in and out and working out how to depress it so that you can pull it back out again. So you'll just be able to jam one on. So there'll be a set of apexes. Yeah, we're there. There'll be a set of apexes already ready, and then these will be what you'll swap out, you know, if you want to change from one brand to the other. If you've got a preference towards one brand, then you'll just choose the variants and say, like, I just want it with Unger, and we'll give you Unger, and we'll give you just a jam on one in case you switch tools, but you're not going to do the high pole work. I think most of the guys have got a preference on high pole work to, let's say, the Unger, you know, 0 degree or whatever it is, or Wagtails with the Erkin Gardner extended arm thing, which is also like really clever. But we'll make sure that you can fit it to a Wagtail, or you can fit it to a Mormon or an Edaray or an Unger. IPC is also compatible with one of the brands, so if you're a PoolX worker user, then you can also fit your handles to that. So the 8 foot, yeah, there you go. Sometimes you need them for safety. That's it. So all of the trad poles will come with a nice little balance. So it's a rubber cap, and it just means that when you do go to put the pole down, especially the 8 and the 12, you're going to lean it against the building. You don't want a circle at the bottom on the ground, you know, and a swivel at the top. It doesn't matter so much if you've got fixed right angle, you know, sort of settings here, but if you're using anything with a swivel, then having a circle at the bottom and a swivel at the top, it makes it incredibly unstable, and then, you know, the likelihood of the pole's going to fall over from time to time, and that's a bit of a pain. Okay, so we'll have 4 feet extended, 12 feet extended, and 8 feet extended, right? All of them with Kevlar handle. I don't know, we'll probably put them out one by one as prices, and then we'll do a pack if you buy all 3 or something like that, I think, just so the guys who really kind of get into it. And then, you know, we're looking for the feedback off that. We do have, by the way, an upgrade on our clamps coming through, probably 6 to 8 weeks away. So there'll be some of the aspects of our clamps will change to resolve some of the things that we've all learnt. All of the brands have learnt. Almost everybody's replaced their clamps this year, or upgraded their clamps this year. So we just wanted to see what everybody else was doing, see their version 1, version 2, version 3, to see what mistakes they made in their first assumptions, and all of them have changed their their 2019 version at least once, 1 brand 3 times, you know, so we've been able to learn what mistakes they made while they were developing that. So I think we're going to have a really nice rhino clamp, you know, coming out, which will be really kind of cool. I got myself a Starbucks. Okay, so let's see what's in this pack, right? If you are going to be a trad guy, then obviously you want, let me see if I can show you this. You may not want to wear this, but you can wear this, and I'm going to put it on a clip. But what it'll have is the ability to switch out, you know, with different apexes. If you want to switch out between different tools, it'll have the trad pad. This will have Velcro on it, and then you'll have your different scrubs, you know, for the trad pad. And it'll also have, I haven't got it here because I didn't prepare myself very well, but there's 2 versions of this trad pad and trad pole pad, and this will have this fitting on it, and this will screw onto, you know, basically a standard apex. So if you do need to do pole work with a scrub and you just want to get some, you know, bronze wool or white non-scratch pad, or, you know, steel wool or whatever, or, you know, the cheese grater as we call it in Australia now, like this one's pretty powerful for getting stuff off glass rather than using blades, then all of this is going to be in your kit, and you'll get the holster, you know, for it. So it'll all be there. You can wear it or not wear it, but I'm sure that it'll come in handy from time to time when you know you're dealing with really dirty glass. Yeah. Okay, the other thing, I might show you this, right? This is a small development. Let me see if I can tip that down a bit. There. So this is based on 2-tool, but there's a couple of things that you see that we're heading for on the holster market. This has got a sling here. We've actually got a sleeve here where you can just drop another squeegee in, or if you wanted to, you could just drop like a spare blade in there. It's got one on each side. You can't use them both because the one on this side is going to conflict with this, but you can put a cloth in there or something, you know, or a 6-inch blade, you know, you could sit in there and just be able to pull that out without a conflict. You can still, you know, carry a ledger or something like this, or a razor blade in there as you wish, right? And then sometime in the next 2 weeks, you'll be able to take it off your belt like that. I'm still looking at how many of them should have the stand, the kickstand, because I think when you do want to take it off your belt, but on the other side, what we'll do is we're going to make a mounting system, so you'll have these clips in your vehicle, you'll be able to mount them, and so you'll be able to, you know, basically, you know, line that one up. You can tell I haven't done that before, but that's in there, it's locked, it's not going to come out. Open that up and you've got it, and then you'll be able to hang that in your vehicle or in your shop or whatever. Each of your guys will be able to use that. So we're kind of, you know, it's step by step, as you know. I think we weren't given a lot of sort of space to be able to do what we're really good at doing, is making things better. But here it is. It's going to be really amazing, you know. So all of the, you know, the future holsters, you know, will have this, and then you'll be able to have other, you know, like for example this pack, we're looking at whether we can mount this on this without it being awkward, but some of the smaller ones and things like that, they'll all be there, so you'll be able to just mount your whatever tool it is, whatever holster it is. Let's say you're going to run with a 2-tool for the insides, and you want to run with a bigger one like this, or a 3-tool, or a Mad Monsoon for storefronts or outsides. Then you can just, you know, quickly get it off. It's faster than the Combat Loop. It's wider and more stable than the Combat Loop. And then we're talking with Peter Thomas and Craig Hardman. They're doing some research for us as to whether we want to put some sort of, you know, movement into this, so that you know, if you are going to carry water, remember let me just make this simple point. The original Gunslinger was made by a storefront guy for pretty much a reason. It's got a hinge and a buckle to tip water out. The whole focus of it, oh yeah, I'll show you the close-up, okay. The whole focus of it was to tip water out. There was no focus to hold water in. And that's where we kind of got in trouble, because people wanted to hold more water than what it was originally designed for, and then we kind of got slammed for that. But I don't mind that, because now we can see the distinction, you know, and the distinction is so simple, that we're gonna make bobs, right? Same as that Japanese guy is doing. I think he's got some really cool ideas. If you haven't seen him, you'll find him online, Tanaki or something like this. And if you want to carry water, we'll make ones like the Mad Monsoon. Peter Thomas has got one which we call Mini Max, Mini Mad Monsoon, I think it is, or whatever, but it's basically a 14-inch Mad Monsoon, so he's testing that for us. So we'll make ones that you can carry water in, but that's what we have to go through, is that whole distinction. What is it you're doing with them? What do you want? Don't slam us because it doesn't do what you want to do, because it does do what it was designed to do. And then we just move forward as an industry, as a team. You know, that's my commitment. And we lose a couple of people along the way, but guess who wins? The people who stick around. Okay, so you want to see a close-up of this clip, right? So let me move that to there. So that's a wide. This is the housing, yeah, right here. So that's the female, I guess. And then here is the male that's sliding on your belt, so you can move it, you know, to wherever you want. And it's just like a massive, you know, buckle for a belt, you know, kind of thing, and locks in. It's got the two little, you know, pushy things there that do that. We've got a nice little finger, so you see how easily I did that is because we've got this little sort of pouch here. So I've just got to, you know, open it up like that, close it off like that. And I think once we've done that and a couple of other, you know, changes and designs, then maybe we'll end up with 10 different bobs. You know, they're still a little bit pricey because the quantities are so low. So just to be able to be profitable, to be able to continue to develop the product range, you know, then it's just kind of like an investment into, you know, your efficiency and the future of the industry, because otherwise if we grind the prices down too low, then there's no room for anybody to develop a product, you know. So so you just, unfortunately, as a manufacturer, I've just got to make sure that it's profitable. All right, so let's get you really excited. Spin this all the way around. Whew, a bit of a belly on me. Good times. And I'll show you this little one. Okay, so this fella also is on a clip. Get that onto a hip so that it's balanced. Get that around here, and this is where we're going with Trad 4. Right, is to give you a holster. I know some of you might have seen this before, but we've got it pretty much down pat now. Slide that fellow in there. Yep, and then you can carry it, you know, at this angle, or you can carry it at this angle. If you're left-handed or right-handed, it works exactly the same, but upside down. So you can have that there, and then if you want to bring it around, right, that'll lock off over the top of the hole like that. And then when you want it out, you just bring it out. When you want it back in, you know, it's just locate it and close it off, and it's not coming out, right? It's part of you. So this has been signed off, but it's not in production yet. So we're going to do you a deal. If you get a Trad 4, we'll make sure that you get a deal with an option for one of these that'll come later, maybe 2 to 3 weeks later, okay? But we think that's a pretty cool little part of the kit, you know, so you've got like the ability just to not have to pick things up, put things down, pick things up, put things down, and you can carry it the way you like to carry it, yeah? So you can carry it like that if you want, you know, you're not going to, but yep, and all the way in. So I'm pretty excited about this. I think we've got that really, really sweet, and the guys have been working on that to kind of make it robust. And then this one's actually clipping. I may have it upside down actually. That'd be funny if I have what they want, but that'll clip out of there, I think. Let me tell you later whether it does or not. Oh dear. Anyway, I only got a few hours in the factory on Friday, and most of it we spend in the new factory. So we've signed off on all the walls we're going to knock down, and so I'll see what you're saying. Yeah, need that. Yes, I know, it's been a long time coming, right? It's just somebody to focus on what it is to be a trad guy when you want to use a pole just to reach a piece of glass, but then you're going to come straight from reaching a high piece of glass down to sort of, you know, normal size glass, then you're going to go back up and then down and all that. So everything has to stay with you, right? You don't want to have to be pulling it in and out or losing or fumbling or whatever. So I'm excited about that. All right, what else can I tell you? I've got lots to tell you. Flow Blue is well on its way. It's going to be the first modular RO system. which is very in keeping. If you look at the history of REACH-iT, like we're the first people to bring out an XT or an upside down 2-part extension, and yeah, that's good. We're interested in the feedback, but you know, there's going to be guys who do it one way and guys who do it another. And what, as we say in our business, like, you know, you have to be incredibly brave to put something up. You have to be incredibly brave to write copy, you know, because people are going to say, yeah, that doesn't make sense, or those words don't make sense. Harrison's got to be incredibly brave to put up logos, to put up images. Martin's got to be incredibly brave to take photos and say, we want to use these photos, because everybody can see what's wrong once it exists. The reality about design versus copy is that the definition of design is to bring into existence something that didn't exist before. Now, as soon as it exists, everybody can tell you what's wrong with it, right? But nobody can tell you what's wrong with your idea until it exists, right? So it's a catch-22. You got to have chutzpah. You got to have big balls. You've got to be committed. I'm passionate about the industry. I have to keep the passion, because I've got to be passionate about surviving. What naturally and should happen is, this is what it doesn't do. Right? Because I know what it does do. I know what I'm trying to get it to do. I know it'll do what I want it to do, but I don't know that it'll do everything that you want it to do. Yeah. So that's the catch-22. Yeah. And I've got you know, I'm not so bad. I'm pretty robust on all this stuff. I got a bit of experience. Yeah. I have a bit of experience. Let me talk to you about scrubs. Hey, ni hao. So, 2 developments on scrubs are, trad 12. Is 3 4-foot sections less 1.5 less, so basically it'll be about 4'2" compact. Yep. Got security going around. Oh, well, I can do. It's okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. He's taking my rubbish away. That's nice. How many security guards would you have to take your rubbish away? Okay. So I want to talk about materials that clean glass. So my summary, when I try and bring everything back to simple, is this: you can scratch glass, not scratch it with scratches, right? But bristles will scratch, right? You can scrape, and you can grab, right? So bristles scratch stuff off glass, blades scrape stuff off glass, and rubbers grab stuff off glass. So what we've seen with all of the especially with the green rubber pad, I mean, it's an amazing, it's got enormous feedback. Not all of it's public, a lot of it's personal, where they come back to me and say, oh my God, like, I did an amazing job, I couldn't believe it, I tried it, I never thought it would work, blah, blah, blah. You know, but guys just give us the feedback and we say, yeah, okay, we're on it. So some of you might know that there's 2 different versions of the green rubber pad. That's pretty typical of me to A/B test without anybody knowing. And the softer one has delivered, you know, some more positive responses for the guys that have tried both. And the second thing that we wanted to talk about was the melamine, the magic eraser. So we had some problems with securing the Velcro in a waterproof way. So we've actually changed the design. And the other thing was that it was too thick. It was like, you know, 1 inch thick. And so it was kind of holding the brush off the glass too much, but that was all we could buy from where we could source at the time. But now we just placed the purchase order this week. This is the sample, right? It's a melamine magic eraser, which is 100%, you know, robust in the way that the glue is working, you know, between these 3 layers that make it together. And it's low profile, which is, for me, the most exciting thing, is to get that low profile so that the brush is more controllable. And also, you know, when you go to use your trad pad, you know, when you go to use this little baby, then this will be on here, and you can feel, you know, how much easier that's going to be to use, you know, to be able to get magic eraser on glass, you know, 8 inches wide. It'll be like there, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm pretty excited about that. The next thing that we've been doing, we've got about 10 silicone bristles out there being tested at the moment as well, and they are also getting pretty amazing feedback. So so we're heading down that route now, you know, to look at silicone bristles. So you'll have nylon on the outside to break the surface tension of the glass, so you get a water squeegee. Then we'll have possibly, you know, in my belief, it's what's going to happen is we'll have a silicone bristle on the inside of the brush, and that has that grabability. And I think that the grabability, that from a scratchability, all we need is 1 blade of nylon bristle, and that's dual purpose. On the way up it's going to scratch, on the way down it's going to break the surface tension of the glass so that the jets from the Hydroblade 2, Hydroblade 2 Plus inherit the broken surface tension, and we get a water cascade the full width of the brush. Talking about full width of the brush, I didn't bring window weapon out, deep frame, but you've all seen how we can bend the water now. Like, we're bending it back 60 degrees on itself, bending the water back. So a lot of you have wondered why we haven't released Hydroblade 2 for as an upgrade. It's because we released Hydroblade 2 first, and we were bending the water 10 and 15 degrees, and we thought we were pretty amazing at that. Then window weapon deep frame came out, and we needed to bend the water 60 degrees to get the water into the corners. And then we were in Perth, and Pete Pilot, you'll see him, he's on here right now, but he said to me, look, if you can bend the water there, why wouldn't you bend the water on the constructor brush with the round end caps as well? And so we've been working on that. So we think that we're ready. Like, there's a couple little angle things that I've got to work on this week, and then we'll sign off on it. And then there'll be a Hydroblade 2 Plus upgrade for the constructor brushes with end caps, with round end caps. And we're going to bend the water, you know, back more around. When this is compressed against the glass, you know, the water will come around closer to the top edge, but without wetting over the agitation zone. So there's a lot of engineering going on behind the scenes to deliver you, when you do upgrade to Hydroblade 2, Hydroblade 2 Plus, you won't be feeling miffed that I released a new one straight away afterwards, right? So I've kind of learned from that. Those of you who haven't worked out, high flow is the future. Rhino tube is gone. All the 8mm tubes, all the 5/16 inch tubes, I think that's 8mm, around about 1/3 of an inch. They're all gone. Like, get rid of them now, right? Because as soon as you go to Hydroblade 2, certainly in the Hydroblade 2 range, all of the brushes are balanced. They've all got exactly the same resistance, so you can switch out. You can carry reload and carry a second brush on your hip. So reload is a holster for the constructor brushes. And so they're all the 12-inch, 16-inch, the window weapons, the deep frames are all balanced. So you can switch them out without changing anything. And so, but the critical thing for it, in order to be able to balance a 12 and a 16-inch, we had to have more flow rate. So you'll see that you need high flow. You just need high flow. And we're going to bring some upgrade kits so you'll be able to convert your brushes. If you've got older brushes, you'll be able to convert them to high flow, so you won't have to buy new brushes. So this little sort of arrangement here, if you've got a really early generation one, there's only a 1/2 inch gap here in the channel, so you might have to get a hacksaw out and chop that up, or we'll show you how to do it without getting a hacksaw out and chopping it up, right? If you're handy, you can do it. If you're not handy, you can't. If you don't want to do anything, don't. Just buy another one. Like, I don't really like the idea of, you know, kind of being slammed for making an upgradable product, and a product that $20 you can put it back onto the window, and then complaining about it. Like, if you don't want to upgrade it, don't. Just buy another one, or whatever, you know. So so what we've got, obviously, when we switch to high flow, then the kink doesn't work anymore. So we've got high flow kink. I've got this a little bit tight at the moment. Sorry, twisting that around. But I want to point out to you, like, how kink works. If you wanted an on-off, that is off, and that is on. If you want to continually go on and off. So some of the guys in the UK, where they want to tap and they want to be able to use a high flow, then you kink it off and then you just push it through. It's not like amazingly beautiful, but it works, right? But normally for the average guy, like in the rest of the world, other than the UK, then it's just, okay, you know you're going to walk a fair distance and you don't want the water flowing, so you'll just grab your high flow and you'll just, you know, kink it in there, and then you're going to be saving your water. Yep. So high flow is, and I'll make sure that there is a high flow and an HP2 Plus pack, you know, coming out. If you do buy high flow now, then we'll make sure that it all balances. If you buy the HP2 Plus pack later, just, you know, write to us on live chat or something like that. We'll get you happening. Okay, what else do you want to know? The new flow is nearly done. That's going to be really exciting. You'll be able to, there's a version of it that you'll be able to buy it like really basic. The lowest price version will be $990. And then there's an upgradable version where you could buy it like at a low price. I'm not quite sure what the actual dollar is. You can buy it at a low price. Maybe it'll be $1,090 or $1,150 or something, and then that will ultimately be able to be upgraded in the future to a dual 4040 RO. So some guys are interested in that, and it's very congruent with REACH-iT because, you know, we brought out the ability to extend a pole. You can buy a pole that services 80% of the glass that you clean and then extend it to the other 20%. So, you know, Mini and Tactical can be extended to, you know, 4 and 5 stories, and Pro and Warrior can be extended to 5, 6, and 7 stories. You know, so it's that ability to sort of, you know, advance yourself as you advance without having to come back and buy a whole new system. That's kind of like my mantra. Constructor brush fits into the same thing. It's a brush that can be modified and changed over time. If you're not into that school of thought, then you'll buy a fixed length pole with internal tubing and you'll buy 5 of them. If you're not into the idea of being able to have a modifiable brush, then you could either just buy another modifiable brush, just buy another constructor brush when you don't like the one you've got. I'm going to lock them down, by the way. I'm definitely locking them down. I've made that decision. You'll be able to buy a DIY version, right, where you can modify them, and then they'll be just glued together, bolted together, stuck together. Like I'm just gonna get rid of that whole argument that, you know, it's pieces. It's pieces because, like, a car is pieces. You can't buy a Mercedes-Benz in one piece, right? It's made up of a whole lot of pieces. So it's kind of like a correlation causation issue, right? But I'm going to resolve that. Oh, I do. Look, I got chunks of this. I got like tens of thousands. I haven't got tens of thousands of dollars left. I'll tell you later today or tomorrow how much I've got. But I've got a lot of Black Diamond squeegee rubber. It's brand new, straight out of the factory. We took over Black Diamond in August, I think. We placed an order for, I don't know, $20,000 worth, and we bought another $20,000 worth in the meantime. So, you know, it's good rubber. It's a beautiful product. Love it. Great. You're not going to be disappointed. If you're a flat top user, then there's no doubt that a lot of the guys who use Sorbo channels and poles don't like the medium, so buy the soft. We have the soft in stock. And then, but if you're a round top user, you know, in latitude 35 and below, medium will work all year round. You know, above that where it gets cold, then obviously in the colder times you want maybe the soft, you know, so that it's just a little bit softer and a little bit more forgiving. But yeah, I got loads of this to sell, right? So support us in offloading that. If you love it, if you're already buying it, you can ring me up and do a deal if you want to buy a whole lot. But after that, WCR are carrying it, so you can go to WCR or you can go straight back to Casper and buy it from him if you love it. It's not like the end of a line, so it's not like a sellout such that you can't get it again. If you love them, right, you'll have another market. But while I've got stock, I'm prepared to sell it cheaper, just to roll it out of the warehouse, because I have a factory move coming up and I do not want to be moving stuff that I'm not going to be selling in the future. So we will be rolling all that out. I saw the new factory. We're going to knock a lot of walls down and it's going to be pretty amazing. I think you guys are going to love the direction that we're taking and where we're going to be going to. It's a very, very big evolutionary stage for us, because it will give us the ability to go into another level of manufacturing, and take on other aspects of industry and business. So I've been, you know, got my eyes out for other opportunities as well. So we're going to be applying our creativity quite a little bit more laterally. It's going to be kind of a bit of fun, and there'll be some crossovers, so we'll learn some things here and apply them there and all that sort of thing. So I think that's it. Oh, I was going to show you this. Those of you who don't have REACH-iT poles but do have constructor brushes, I just want to let you know that at the top of a REACH-iT brush, right? Sorry, at the top of a REACH-iT pole, there's always a push fit. Now, this one is my demo pole from, I don't know, a couple of months ago, so it's still got an 8mm Rhino tube push fit on the top, but that's in the way. See there? That's an 8mm push fit. So Rhino flat hose doesn't fit it. So we need to get you, sorry about that. We need to get you a Rhino high flow push fit. It's only held in there with a cable tie, so you can swap them out easily enough. And then if you want to run Rhino tube to the brush, right, you should run a loop. So you shouldn't be carrying your tube on the brush. I mean, somebody hear about the, you know, the little parts that broke. It took me a while to work out that guys are, because it's not the design, right? The design is that the weight of the tube coming up the pole through the tube runners is being carried here. There is no weight of the tube, there's no load on the brush, there's no load on the fittings, and then there's a loop, you know, like a 14-inch loop, and you just loop it across, loop it around to the brush. So you see any of our photos, you'll see that loop piece, and this is allowing the brush to swivel freely, and there's no load on any of the parts. Yeah, good on you, Wagman. Good to see you, buddy. You know, so if you've got an 8mm brush, you're still better running high flow to here, and you want to run with 8mm after that, like Rhino tube, you're still better off than not. And so you'll have a little 8mm stem adapter here. See that? That's a little 8mm stem adapter. So anybody buying a new REACH-iT pole will be getting this push fit in here. And then we're modifying Check-it now so that Check-it will be compatible with high flow. But again, in the meantime, if you wanted to go back through Check-it with an 8mm, then you can have 8mm here and there. All right. So we're just trying to make it so that we can go through the transition with the least amount of inconvenience to you in peak season, and then after that, you know, you can have a look. All the packs have got like adapters. You know, that's an 8 to 10 adapter or a Rhino tube to a high flow adapter. So there's one of those in there. So you know, you're not going to be left high and dry. But I know it's still peak season, so you know, learning when you're making money is not. You know, sometimes you're just dog tired when you get home, you know. Alrighty, dang, I had a lot to say, and there's still more. I've got the whole of the Elite pack. I'm going to have a look at that today. You know, where we've got it all in one bag, so there's a place for everything in its place, and you'll be able to carry, you know, if you wanted to, all your brushes will be able to store in there if you don't want to use keepers. Matt Adwell is here. Hey Matt, look at this. We got trad pole is ready. This is trad 8. It's got its own little balance, yeah. It's Kevlar. You can actually see the Kevlar through there, all right, that 3K look. Or the woven look, you know, is there. And then on the top, Matt's one of my favorite guys in the world on efficiency. He's Mr. Efficiency. All right, so we've got this, and then we've got a little pin system here, and then we'll be matching it to the different brands. So if you're an Unger user, then you'll get an Unger. Yes, Matt and Accelerate. Matt, Michael Gallur, me, and Harrison. Yeah. Yes. Good on you, Nick. Yes, the homeland. The homeland. Okay. So we're done. I think lots and lots of things. Please, if there's anything that interests you, any comments, either PM me or load them up here. It's going to be a safe zone. I'm also looking at running an outside of Facebook forum group. There's a new product available where you can actually contain all of the content, so you can say 100% it's only ever going to be positive. And I really feel strongly, I think me and Lee Burbage, we talk quite often, and this is one of the areas where we feel so passionate about, is just trying to keep a positive zone, you know. And if I go negative, people pull me up straight live and say, move on, you know, stop talking about that shit, right? Nobody wants to know. So so it's really, really interesting. I've got a lot of things on my mind, but we will we'll walk you through the factory next week, I think, if we start knocking down walls, and give you an insight into how it's going to be looking, so you can kind of, you know, visualize it, and then when it happens, you'll say, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we're going to have a factory clearance. So those of you who want any little custom poles, I've got a whole lot of pole sections there, so we'll go and have a look at that today, and then start popping them up online. You know, they'll look pretty shitty. You know, they're just we used to make a lot of outriggers for the fishing industry. So we've got a fair bunch of outrigger stock, which is 100% carbon fiber, nice tubes, but they're not sanded, you know, because there was no big reason to sand them. They're not going in and out all the time. So it was kind of like a budget move on that sense, and we'll walk through the factory and see what else. We've got some flow controllers, some V11s, you know, but we'll just offload the stuff that, you know, we're not going to be selling into the future. So I think there'll be some good deals in August, yeah. But I'll try and flag all those for you this week, so you've got your head around, you know, knowing you want to buy out of the summer sale. We've got another phase 3 of summer sale launches this week. That'll be Flow and Elite together, so Flow Red and Elite. If anybody's interested in that, we're going to do a pretty sweet deal on that. And then yeah, we'll have a look, see what we've got loads of stuff of, and see if we can offload it. Well, we used to make the Gemlux ones before they developed their own clamps. So if you want some outriggers, I've got outriggers. just talk to me and I won't disassemble them. They're already assembled. They're pretty basic ones, but they work. I mean, my buddy Rich down in Pompano Beach, so I'm really good friends with him, and we use his warehouse for some of our biggest shipping. Before the tariffs came in, we used to top load with his containers, but now with the tariffs, it's not really sensible to stock a warehouse in America. So basically, to give you an understanding of like the complexities of this, it's cheaper for us to air freight again directly to you as a customer from China than it is to stock a warehouse, because if we ship a small shipment, it doesn't attract any tariff. There's a threshold before the tariff turns on and the duties. But for example, if I sent you, a $5,000 order, the duty and tariff would be in the order of $2,300. Yeah, like that's if we declared it at that price. But actually, our American company buys it off our Chinese company. But then it would be, let's say, if we sold it, at 60% of the retail value, then it would be, in the order of $1,500. So like the tariff, that whole tariff thing is a really interesting thing to navigate. Yeah. So, all good. And then there's going to add another 10% soon. Trad pole prices. Yeah, let me lock that down because I want to sell it as a pack. I want people to enjoy it as a pack. So I think Trad 4 as a pack is going to go in at about $149. Maybe I'm probably going to go around $149, $199, and $299 or $279, something like that. I'll be under everybody else because I think every one of them is overpriced, I think, for what they are. So but all power to them. They're first to market. First to market gets the chance at setting the price. So yeah. What else do you want to know? Martin Brooker's here. How are you, buddy? Joined the Navy at 15 years old with Martin. How's your new business going? It's probably not new anymore. We're probably 2 or 3 years older now, are we? Since the reunion. Yeah, we're going to do a pack with all three, Anthony, I think, and that I'll bundle with a really nice price. Yep. So you'll get the Trad 4, the Trad 8, the Trad 12. We'll give you a promise for the holster, right? So those of you a little bit, late to the party, I know I wax lyrical, but I'll just show you really quickly. So we have a holster that's not, it'll be ready in about 2 or 3 weeks. We wanted it for now, but we've got the design, so we're happy with the design. So basically, this will unlock. You'll throw that in there, right? It'll lock off, so it's not going to fall out or anything like that. And you can lock it at that angle, or you can lock it at that angle, or you can lock it at that angle, or you can leave it so that it's, ready to move, right? And go. So we'll have you with a promise of that. So that'll come 2 to 3 weeks later, and it'll be good. Be good. Okay. So enjoy. This is your Sunday evening. Enjoy that. It's Monday morning here. It's a lovely day. It's going to be great. And the team is all excited. They only gave me half of what they've been working on Friday, so I brought all the samples home so I could let you guys know. And then tomorrow or tonight, some of the that elite pack is probably a bit big for me to bring home, so I might go live tonight, maybe 5 o'clock my time, so it'll be before you guys wake up, a lot of you, and we might have a look through that. And so jump onto my wall and have a look at that when you wake up. Yeah, awesome. Okay, good. I'm out. Have a great evening, guys. Cheers.